Hello students, welcome to competitive coding class, and I'm your tutor David Cho. The concept we'll cover this week is list. List is defined as a group of variables with the same data type. Please pay close attention to the underlined part saying data type. This means that we cannot have a list that has some integer variable and some float variable. Only single types, either integer, float, character, or etc., can exist in a single list. To help you understand, I made an analogy for the list. If variable is a room, then the list can be an apartment which can contain multiple rooms. The way to declare a list is quite simple. Similar to declaring a data, you put the name of the list first, write square brackets, and put all the elements in the brackets. And please make sure to separate each variable with a comma. Below is an example of declaring a list with string variables. By writing down this code, a list named students with 4 elements, Kevin, Lucy, David, and Bolt, is declared. And all variables have common data type. Okay, now it's your turn. Please pause the video and try to declare a list named numbers that contains 10 integers from 1 to 10. Alright, let's check it out. The correct answer is here. We wrote the name of the list, which is numbers, an element in the list which are separated by commas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and square brackets that cover the elements. Here. Okay, now let's see how we can access elements in the list. Let's suppose that a list named number is already declared in Python. How are we supposed to access a specific element in the list? For example, 1, 3, 5, 7, or 10, or whatever element in the list. The solution is to use index. Index is a way to access individual element in a list. This index represents a position of the list. Position in the element of the list. One thing special about this is that we start from 0 when counting elements. So the first element of the list is 0 instead of 1. And with the same logic, the last element of the list is the number of elements subtracted by 1. In this case, since we have 10 elements from 1 to 10, we have the last element, 10, should have the index of 9. This makes sense because since we start from 0, the nth element of the list, the index of nth element of the list should be n minus 1. For example, the first element has index of 0, second has index of 1, third have index of 2, and so on. Now it's your turn. Find the index of the following elements in the list alphabet. Please pause the video and try it on your own. Okay, to make the question easier, I put an index for every single element in the list, beginning from 0 and end with 8. Now we can easily find the index of each element. S here is at the end of the list, so it has to be 8. P should be 2, and the first A should be 0, and the second A should be 4. Okay. Now, let's learn a concept called negative index. This is another way to access the element in the list. But this time, we start from the end of the list. And unlike the original method, which started from 0, we start with -1 for negative index method. For example, the last element of the list numbers, 10, has index of -1. With the similar logic, 9 has index of -2, 8 has index of -3, and so on. And you have to avoid the common mistake where an element of the list can have only a single index. No, that's wrong. The last element here, 10, can have the index of both -1 and 9 at the same time. So for example, if we want to access, let's say 10, then we can do the following. Numbers equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. So by the original indexing method, we can do number 9, then this is going to print 10. Or we can also do number -1. This is 10. Okay. And next one is range of indexes. The format is square bracket, starting point, colon, and ending point. We can access all the elements with indexes from x to y minus 1, which means that we do not include the element with the index y. And this one, unlike the previous methods, like negative index or regular index, this one returns the list. For example, if you want to access the elements from 3 to 7, which have index of 2 and 6 respectively, we have to use index 2 colon 7. And the element with index 7, which is 8, is not included in the return value. Let's try this out. So if we put numbers 2 colon 7, this will return the element from 2 to 7, but the element with index 7 is not included. So this is going to return 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the returned list should contain the element of 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yay! Now it's quiz time. Please write a code that will return the following. Please pause the video and try it on your own. Again, to make it simple, I'll list all the indexes for each element, including the negative ones. To print S, we have to do either alphabets square bracket 8 or alphabets square bracket -1. Similar to T, similar logic for T, we can do 7 or -2. And this one here, this one here, to return the list of, let's say, list of elements, we have to use this range of indexes. So we can, by using positive or regular index, we can do 1 colon 5, which includes elements from 1 to 5 with 5 exclusive, or we can use a thing called, we can use negative index. This one will work pretty similar to regular indexing method if you clearly list the negative index below the regular index. And lastly, to print E, T, and S, we can do regular range index method, or we can use alphabet, 6 colon, and nothing at the end. If we don't declare an ending point for unrange method, it's gonna automatically assume that we'll just print. Oh, sorry. We'll just return the element from until the very last. So let's try another example. So if we want to print the number from 7 to 10, then we can do something like 6 colon, then it's going to print everything. And if we put 0 here, it's going to print all the elements in the list. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yay. Okay, lastly, we're gonna learn how to check the existence of the element in a list. The format is if element in list. This will return true if the element is in the list, but false if the element is not in the list. For instance, in the following situation, the first code, which checks if element 1 is in the list, will return true since our first element of the list number is 1. But the second if statement, if 0 in numbers, is gonna return false since we don't have the element 0 in the list. Here's the quiz. Predict the return value of following Boolean statements. Let's try this on your own after you pause the video. The answer should be true for the first two and false for the last two. The answer for the last question is false, since the list alphabet contains H, but only the uppercases. Since Python is sensitive towards upper and lower cases of the alphabet, uh, if lowercase h is not in the list, this is gonna return false. Alright, this is it for today's video. Please feel free to visit Peer Tutoring Club if you have any questions. Thank you.